And action
is his reward.
Hey, everybody. We're back after the long 4th of July break. The long 4th of July.
Never
July
has
4th
a
break.
holiday been so exhausting. Oh, my God.
So anyway, hi, I'm Philip.
I'm Tommy.
And welcome to RCX Unfiltered, where we will do something tonight.
Yep. Tess isn't here, so, oh, my God.
Gregory's breaking stuff. That's why we can't have nice things.
At least it's my own thing.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
You're fair. That's good to go. So yes, Tess isn't here. So Jacqueline is here though. So she may keep us to our 45-minute time limit. We'll see. We don't really know at this point.
I can barely see the numbers from here, so
I'm going to lower this some because we had a lot of ceiling. Feels like it's been a month.
It does feel that way.
Yeah, I guess it was last month when we last did one of these. And this is episode 25.
25?
Yeah. So this is a double-sized issue. So we have to go an hour and a half tonight.
Okay.
Because it's a double-sized issue. Oh, Gregory can write. Oh.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Gregory.
Bye.
See you later. So, anywho, we're going to kind of do our own show that we normally do, but without our fashion segment. Unless you're going to do a fashion segment tonight, dear. Because it's not Tommy and my thing. We don't do fashion.
I feel
segments.
fashionable.
We don't do fashion segments. But we will talk about some books. We're going to talk about a couple from last week.
Yeah, I don't know what came out last week and this week.
Yeah,
it's all a blur.
I do. This was all last week. So we'll talk about some books last week and talk about some books this week.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's a Danny Phantom.
My pick of the week may change. Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Attack.
We've been attacked. This is all on Jacqueline, people. Oh, sure, we're back. Man, she knocked the camera over.
Ooh.
It's just everything. It's all gone wrong. All right. Anyway, last week. This was last week.
That was last week.
All
This would have been my pick of the week last week
Have we done pick of the
we
week?
done pick of the weeks.
So it is Adventures of Superman, John Kent, number 5, which is now only a 6-issue series.
I think it was initially only a
Was
6-issue. Yeah.
Oh.
It was initially announced as a 6-issue series. Yeah.
Well, disappointing.
Well, it's one of those things where it wasn't in the solicit.
Right. It was. Yeah.
You had to like go deep into like stuff to find out.
How
but
deep?
yeah, pretty deep.
Deep down.
Pretty deep down. Yep. Mhm.
Deep down.
Uh-huh.
Gotta
Yep.
dig.
Yep.
Dig deep down. Anywho.
But yeah, it was always supposed to be 6 issues.
Okay.
DC seems to really like miniseries right now, which everybody's complaining about. But I'm like, if you only have 6 issues of story,
It's fine.
just be 6 issues. It's fine.
And this has been a good 5
God,
issues
it's
so
been
far.
so good.
So we're still in Injustice Land.
Yeah.
So it's been some crazy stuff going on in this book.
Yeah.
And so now we're in Injustice Land, where if you've read Injustice or haven't read Injustice and don't know what it is, that's pretty much where the universe where Superman kills Lois and his baby. And
Let's back up a little bit. So the Joker infuses kryptonite with
we don't have time for
Scarecrow's
that. No, we only have an
stuff
hour and a half show.
all right. So
No,
all right.
don't matter. That doesn't matter. Superman kills Lois and his baby for reasons.
Yep.
And then Superman decides, you know what? I'm going to show you how to get rid of crime. And so basically he did by everyone
He sure
standing
did.
in their house all
Everyone in the world is terrified.
is terrified. Right. And so now Jonathan is there.
Yeah.
And so things are being confusing, but I'm not so sure that we're not getting ready to get the end of the Injustice
Yeah, John's not loving
John-
what Clark
yeah.
is doing in this world.
No.
And man,
He's the best Superman. Jonathan's the
John,
best Superman.
yeah, John Kent is, yeah, without question, the best Superman. He's all of the powers of Superman with the idealism of someone who's 18.
Yeah.
And like, unlike most 18-year-olds who have that kind of idealism, like the world around them is just going to beat them down. But like, John has the powers of Superman. Like,
Yep.
He's not going to get beat down.
So, and Bill, to answer your question, so most of DC books is on pause for Night Terrors. Books like this, Doom Patrol,
Yeah,
like
miniseries are not on pause.
Yeah.
It's the ongoing.
and if you're an oddball series, even an ongoing oddball series, you're not on pause.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really just your main Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman,
Teen Titans,
Harley Quinn.
Oh, sorry, Titans.
Yeah.
Nightwing.
Yeah. So yeah, Teen
Yeah.
Titans, and the new Teen Titans book is
Yeah,
not
the new
on
Teen
hiatus.
Titans book that started this
So.
week is a miniseries. So,
But if you haven't been
Thank-
reading this, and I think we still have all the issues, and you want to pick it up, it's great. If not, when the trade comes out, you
yeah,
should pick it
it's
up.
fantastic.
So that's really good, and we'll get the Night Terrors in a little while. I think there's mixed opinions here, but we'll get the Night Terrors in a little while.
Yeah.
Next up is, this would have been my pick of the week
Mhm.
if we picked last week's
Yeah.
picks.
Yeah.
Which is Barnstormers #1 by Tula Lotay and Scott Snyder. And so this takes place in 1927, and it's kind of going to be like your 1927 caper,
Yeah,
like Bonnie and Clyde type stuff is kind of where it's going.
it's beautiful.
But it is
God,
a
it's so pretty.
very, very gorgeous. Let's see here.
and like we only like the main character, he is
Like this is some of your
spoiler alert. Clearly there's something going on with him, and they just barely hint at it over the course of the issue.
Yeah.
I am very excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, this was really good. So I'm not gonna lie. So I was picking this up regardless because it's Tula Lotay.
Julie, yeah.
I mean, that's 100% I'm buying this book, but Scott Snyder's writing it, which
He's pretty good.
he's
Pretty good.
okay. He's an okay writer. That's Scott Snyder. And so them together, putting this book together is just beautiful.
Yeah, it's really
So-
good.
Yep, it is. I'm not going to sit there and say it's a lot of fun because fun's not the right word for this book.
There are
There's good writing. This
Yeah.
book has excellent writing with excellent art. The story is going to be phenomenal.
but like it's not a sad book.
No,
It's not
not
like
yet.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
It is 1927.
Yeah.
People have guns. I'm waiting for someone to go to Wahooo.
Don't you watch the news?
Did you watch the news? So anyway, yeah, Barnstormers is phenomenal. So next up, we have Spider-Man
Spoderman.
#10.
God.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
This
I thought
book was supposed to end at
six.
6?
Yeah.
and it's just kept going. And basically now Peter, like sometimes he, as a genius as he is, he doesn't think. And so he decided to ramp up his spider sense, which who could have saw that coming?
Yeah. He's like, I just want to make it so that I can have more idea of where the danger is. And it's like, oh, now you sense every bit of danger in the whole city.
Yeah. So he
At
can't
all
really,
times.
Yeah, he can't really control it. And then we delve more into Spider-Boy.
Yeah,
So-
we get like little snippets of Spider-Boy stuff, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. There's obviously something really wrong with Spider-Boy.
So Marvel did announce last week that we're going to get a Spider-Boy series.
Yeah.
They didn't say it was going to be mini or ongoing. I assume it's mini-series.
it sounded like it was ongoing the way Dan Slott mentioned it.
So people, someone on Twitter, I think it was like, who asked for this? And Dan Slott was like, excuse me, let me get sassy for a minute. And he was like, well, every book that has had a Spider-Boy appearance has had to go instantly back to a new printing. So the fans are who asked for this.
Right.
Clearly, people want to see more Spider-Boy. He's not wrong.
And why? I mean, I'm going to be honest. Why wouldn't you want to read a Slott Bagley Spider-Man?
Right?
like,
God.
like it's just
Yeah. The book is fun. It's borrowing on some of the stuff that's going on in Amazing Spider-Man. So it's like it's still
Norman's
Yeah.
a big
Yeah,
Gold
Norman's a
Goblin is
huge
a
part
huge
of it.
part
Yeah.
of it.
Yep.
So it's not like we're ignoring. It's not like we're doing. This isn't like the old Spectacular and Amazing stuff where they were each separate and had their different cast of characters. It is everyone's cast of characters in this. So, but did you see the they Slot released the not Slot, sorry. I saw Marvel put it out, but somebody else put it out before that. The Mary Jane jackpot is getting the costume and stuff too. So that's going to be an amazing.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's amazing or not, but it's a thing.
I'm here for it. But the Mary Jane Black Cat miniseries was so good.
I just have more of that though.
Yeah,
like I don't really need her in amazing. Can I just get a Mary Jane Black Cat and just let them go?
Maybe what will happen is that Peter will be in the Spider-Man book, and then the Amazing Spider-Man will just be Mary Jane Black Cat. That's what I'm hoping.
That'd be funny, actually. I would like that. And now we're going to get to this week's books, I think.
Yep.
And
that is this week. This is my pick of the week,
which is The Hunger and the Dusk #1 by IDW.
So I'm a huge D&D nerd. I love D&D, and this book hits all the right notes for people who like D&D or World of Warcraft or anything fantasy-based. So in this one, humans and orcs have been at war forever, which is pretty normal trope for fantasy-based stuff. But now some third other thing has come in, and it's so violent and so devastating that the humans and orcs have like, all right, we need a truce. We need to work together or else we're all going to die. And this is about like a small adventuring company who has been chosen as like the front line to join the front line of the orcs and kind of work together. So the main character is like the leader of this human adventuring company. And then like the orcs have sent a healer, like a cleric, for lack of a better term, to join this adventuring company, and they are now the front line of defense against this other thing that we don't get to see until the end of the book, and they are terrified. Anyway, it's everything I love about fantasy, high fantasy type stuff in a book. It's funny at times. Definitely there's some like romantic vibes going on between the human and the orc lady. So I'm hoping that becomes a thing. Anyway, it's super fun.
What's the in the X-Men? What's all the people who live underground? The
Morlocks.
Yeah, that's what this. They're fighting the Morlocks.
Okay. Yep.
I haven't read this yet. I'm just looking at the back page. I'm like, it's the Morlocks.
Like, I can't remember. All right, so it's written by G. Willow Wilson, who I'm already a huge fan of. I'm not familiar with the artists, but I very much enjoyed the art. For fantasy-based stuff, it's perfect. Anyway, I love this book. I hope everybody else comes and checks it out.
Maybe they'll get hungry. Next is The Amazing Spider-Man #29. Wow, we've made it up to 29 in this series.
Mm-hmm.
It's really shiny over here today. So we are continuing the Doc Ock with his new arms storyline.
And like, I was confused because I was like, when did Doc Ock become like chubby old guy again? But there are hints in this where Norman and Otto are like having an exchange, and it sounds like Norman's the reason that Otto's back in his original body. I'm not certain. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I still don't know that
but Otto's real mad at Norman for reasons.
But like, he's confused too, though, right? Like, he was making statements. He's like, "Why did I say that?" So it's like his brain got twisted. Too
so yeah, there's I'm hoping this is like one of those things that ends without the big huge fight, where like Peter just talks Otto down, and then Otto's like, I remember being a hero. Like that's what I'm hoping.
And that's kind of what, I don't know. It's just something. Yeah, something is still off somewhere.
Yeah.
But he also had the helmet in here where he used to swap places with Peter.
Yes.
That the Beyond Corp had.
Yep.
And I'm like, so I missed that somewhere too down the line, or I missed absolutely nothing. And they just haven't told, but
I don't know.
It's not like the one where we just skipped ahead.
Yeah.
But there's a really cool page in here that I'm not gonna show you, but there's a really cool page in here.
There's a bunch. I'm really enjoying this run of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Because
it's super fun.
Because Doc has new arms.
Yep.
But his old arms have been J. Jonah Jameson's pet.
It's so weird. Jonah's like, oh, my pals.
My pals. Yeah. All because they saved him back during the last run of Spider-Man.
And like neither one of us finished Nick Spencer's run.
Yeah, I think I read the last couple of issues though. It was in there somewhere.
Okay.
That it happened, yeah.
I read the first couple story arcs in Nick Spencer and then skipped until Ben Reilly was the main character at the end with the Beyond story.
Yeah, it was it was the one before Beyond.
Yeah, I
missed
it entirely.
Yeah, I read the Beyond stuff.
Yeah,
it was beyond me. The next is still part of the Legends line is Spirit World number 3.
I have no idea what's happening, but I love this book.
So I've started doing threads. So Richmond Comics has a threads now. We'll talk about that later again. But the reason I'm bringing it up is I've gone back to doing my one-line reviews that I used to do. But now this has made it easier for me, and I don't know why. It just has, right? So I read this book, and Jacqueline's like, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm not. I'm going to put it down and move on because I have no way of writing. So this is the kind of book, like Tommy said, I'm not 100% sure I know what's going on. I don't know how to do a one-line review, but the book is really good. Like the whole setup with the mystical spirit world, and then the people trapped there, like Cassandra Cain, Batgirl is trapped there, and everything going on. There's a lot of story there. There's a lot of action, and it's Constantine too, right? Like we've got Constantine in here too. So all the interactions is great. The writing's great. The art has been phenomenal in this book, but I don't know how. Here's the art. So like everything in this has been really good. I just don't know how to wrap this up.
Here you go. Cat Demon bites Cassandra Cain so hard she remembers stuff and then gets treats.
Yeah, and all that crap. Like what? Yeah, and but it makes sense, right? It all makes sense.
I know that line is absolute nonsense to people who haven't read the book, but 100% that's what happens.
It is. It's literally 100% what happens. I don't know. And then Superman Still Lost.
Oh my God.
Issue 5.
This book
5 of 10
has. I'll be honest. Every issue, I'm more and more intrigued about what is happening.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm not gonna ask questions. All I can tell you is that in this series, Superman is out in space, lost for 20 years. And in this issue, he has found a place to kind of settle down and creates a new Kansas and builds a farmhouse and has some friends living with him. I don't know what this guy's actual name is, but Clark's calling him Jimmy.
Yeah.
There's a Green Lantern who doesn't know that she's a Green Lantern. She's never heard of the Green Lantern Corps. Just some guy died, and now she's got a ring and she has powers.
Yeah. So it's where they're at in the universe is just so many light years away that Superman can't even fly it.
Yeah, so and he doesn't he's using his telescopic vision and whatnot, and he doesn't recognize any of the constellations. He's like, I have no idea where I am.
Yeah. And it's set up to where he's at. It's like his second adopted home that he's there for 20 years.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. And when we get back to present day,
he's lost.
He's so out of sorts. He goes to work and he's like, why am I here? What am I doing?
So the lost part isn't actually his 20 years. It's really more of when he gets home.
Yeah.
It's really set up to be he's back home, but he is truly lost.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite lines is Lois goes to Wonder Woman because she wants to borrow the lasso, and Lois just tells her, I've never really liked you.
Yeah. Lois is very blunt.
Yeah, Lois is very blunt in this.
Which is very Lois.
And this scene.
Yeah.
There's just stuff. Like I'm still not 100% sure what's going on in this. So like they do a lot of flashbacks and forth. So if you're not really paying attention.
And I will say issue 4, the issue before this, I thought I missed an issue.
Yeah.
Like it's purposefully confusing, I think. And I think that's gonna, like, if you were to sit down and read, what is it, 10 issues? I think when it's over, like reading it as in one sitting is going to, I think, be a better story than reading it month to month. I'm not sure.
Like the transition in this though, like it'll show Clark present day in his house, but then the next panel, it's Clark in that 20 years in a place that looks like his house, kind of wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
So you kind of like, so at that point it's kind of like, is some of this in his head? Right? Like, is this really not happening? So we don't know yet because we've got 5 more issues.
Yeah. But I will say it's been very good. I have enjoyed the heck out of it.
We'll do that last just because that might be a longer conversation.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next, we're going to do Scarlet Witch number, what are we up to? 6.
Wanda visits her kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's a super fun little story about Wanda visiting Billy.
Yeah. So she goes, visits Billy, her son-in-law, and then they have a good old time fighting a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've still enjoyed this book. Even though there's like there's something behind the scenes, right? Like there's one little piece that ties them all together, but they're all single issues.
Yeah, they're very much one and done stories, which we don't get very often.
We don't get very often.
Like you could pick up literally any issue of Scarlet Witch and just enjoy it.
Yeah,
by itself.
And so basically, like this, like if you're one of the people who sometimes come in here and go, I just want to read a single issue and just be done. I don't need. Well, here you go. Pick up Scarlet Witch.
Literally any issue, you can pick it up and enjoy it.
It's the same principle as I told someone. I had someone come in the other day when I was here, and they were complaining about, well, they don't make books like they did back in the like 80s and stuff. I said, well, then you should go buy Avengers #1 that just came out because it is 100% that.
It's very 80s, yeah.
And then they didn't care.
Yeah, of course. Sometimes people just want to complain.
So, but Scarlet Witch has been a lot of fun, a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
But it is basically one and done. Like I said, there's little snippets that tie them all together, but there's probably something larger that's going to happen. And then there's always little things in the back that's written by Darcy.
By Darcy, yes. And
if you don't read these when you're done, you're missing out
because it adds some flavor. Is delightful.
His name's Joe. The way this ends, the next issue should be really good, actually, because it's kind of how it's all set up, right? Like you have a story, but then like your last panel or page sets up the next issue, even though they're all single issues. So the next issue should be pretty good.
Dad?
Yeah. And then like Darcy. Next is World's Finest Teen Titans.
Okay.
Go.
So,
wait, no, not them. Number one.
So this was almost my pick of the week. Wait, was it my pick of the week? No, it was not. It was almost my pick of the week.
Before he gets into it, this is written by Mark Waid.
Yes.
That is doing the current World's Finest. And this takes place during that World's Finest timeline. So it's not the new Titans or telling old story. It's all in that timeline. So it's written like that.
But it is set so that imagine the Teen Titans, all of these like teenage sidekicks of all of the big heroes get together and become Teen Titans right now. Right. Social media is a big part of it. There's a lot of Gen Z slang that gets thrown around. The thing, I took a picture of it and sent it to Philip that Aqualad and Wonder Girl are in a situationship, which cracked me up. I sent it to Phoebe as well because I knew she would appreciate it. It's a fun book that really explores the dynamics of all these teenagers, and like Robin is the team leader because of course he is, but like he's trained by Batman. So like Robin is way more serious about them than the rest of the team. They're all like, "Oh, we're kids doing superhero stuff," and Robin's like, "No, we have to take it very seriously, or we will all die." And they're like, "Bro, you gotta calm down."
Like,
yeah,
we're teenagers.
and like in this is part of the era where like everyone knows everybody's identity except for Robin.
Right,
he's the only one because Bruce told him you're not allowed to tell them who you are. Which, if I remember correctly, was part of the original Teen Titans story. Which it wasn't explored all that much. It was just like Robin was like, "I can't tell you who I am," and then one day he was like, "Actually, I'm Dick Grayson," and everybody was like, "Yay!"
And the art is actually, the last name is like Lupacino is doing the art in this, but it goes really well with the Teen Titans.
Oh god, the book was so fun.
Yeah, it goes really well, and I like the Batmobile.
Yeah.
So.
But it's like the original Teen Titans plus Bumblebee, which I thought was an interesting addition.
Yeah.
But like there's bits where like Wonder Girl goes and talks to Diana, and like Wally goes and talks to Barry, and then like Speedy goes to talk to the mannequin that would be Ollie if Ollie wasn't off doing stuff. So like it was really good. It was almost my pick of the week. Almost.
Next, we have
22 pages of sadness.
Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel. Spoiler alert. And it's number 1, but it's a one-shot. So
It's a one-shot where we just have 22 pages of sadness.
Number 1. Yeah, it is just... It's handled really well.
It is. It's very good. I teared up at least twice reading it.
So they sorry. So the story starts off with a G. Willow Wilson story, who wrote the original Miss Marvel. So she kicks it off dealing with all of how Miss Marvel started off with the friends. Then we go into the Avengers. Well, no,
Champions.
Sorry, we go into the Champions. Then we go
next.
into the Avengers, and then we deal with Peter Parker.
And man, I'll be
Peter
honest,
Parker's is the hardest.
No, the Viv Vision stuff is what broke me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that was just a whole nother level with the whole Viv thing.
If you read Champions, it will all mean more. But if you didn't, I don't think it matters. The story will hit you just as hard. But like my favorite part is who is the villain at the end trying to rob whatever in New Jersey?
Yeah.
And he's like outside of a mosque trying to rob somebody, and then suddenly the Avengers, half of the X-Men, and the Champions are all right there, and he's like, "Actually, I'm
out.
I give up," which was a nice little touch of humor at the end of a very like emotional story.
But then they had the Spider-Man.
Oh god, the Spider-Man thing where Peter. It wasn't Spider-Man. It was Peter Parker.
And
goes and talks to Kamala's parents.
Yeah. So he's Peter. So he shows up late, but it plays really well. His part in it is very small, but
it's so good.
It is really actually so good, and it's so Peter. So.
And like, I'm pretty sure 6 months from now, this book isn't going to matter because I'm pretty sure they're going to bring her back. But it's so well done.
If you pick up this book, the last page is a QR code.
Yeah, I noticed that, but I did not scan the QR code.
Well, right now it says not yet.
Oh, all right.
So it says. So I have it up on my phone. I'm assuming they'll turn it on tomorrow.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah,
because tomorrow's Wednesday.
Yeah,
but it wasn't turned. But the way it's worded is worded very cryptic. So I'm not really sure.
If you want a story that is both an outpouring of love for a human being, and also once again, G. Willow Wilson has shown me a different aspect of Muslim culture that I did not know.
Right.
The grieving process is very much community based. like it and based on this comic, this is my information.
All we have is this.
Yeah,
comic.
all we have is this comic. I don't know, but it seems like no one really goes through this kind of grief by themselves.
Is this good enough, Bill? Is this grabbing good enough?
Sorry. It seems like the whole community gets together, and shares in their love of a person.
Right.
Anyway, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is done. Yes, and
we're very aggressive today.
So yeah, it was well done. When I'm reading this, I'm like, okay, well, Spider-Man's on the cover.
Yeah.
Like, when's that going to happen?
He didn't show up till the very end.
He didn't show up to the very end.
In very Peter Parker fashion.
But it was handled as well as any Peter Parker stuff. So then next up is,
speaking of aggressive,
Stephanie Phillips wrote 8 Limbs. So this is by Humanoids. And so basically this book is actually phenomenal.
We both read it yesterday.
The whole premise of this is basically there's a troubled teen. You have her, and I can't remember names.
I can't either.
I'm awful. Marie is the teen.
She's the teen.
So I can't remember her name. So Marie's the teen. Joanna is she's a Muay Thai fighter. And so she was a champion, got hurt, things like that happen. And then really it's about her she's kind of come to terms, but she still has some demons from her last fight. And then you've got this troubled teen who kind of stumbles into her life through unexpected circumstances. That's handled very well. So Stephanie Phillips wrote this, and I've read a lot of her stuff. She's written Harley Quinn and a whole bunch of other stuff. Mm-hmm. But then I went and read up, because she did her own foreword in it, and she's also a fighter.
Yeah, apparently she was a Muay Thai.
She was a Muay Thai fighter also. Yeah. So I'm like, it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because obviously the knowledge in here, but the feels in this is just phenomenal. Like everything is handled really well. The art is it's really good and clean. I'm going to show you some art from it.
And I'll be honest, the art during fight sequences or training sequences.
Yeah.
A lot of times in comics, you just get people being punchy and whatever, right. And it just is what it is. The artist really took the time to understand how the human body moves and where the weight shifts, and the fight sequences and the training sequences have a weight to them that you don't often see in comics. It's beautifully done.
Yeah. So if you want to read something that's handled really well, and it is it's really a pure slice of life, just handled from a different perspective, and kind of teaches you that not everything is what it seems, and sometimes what you need is not what you need. Well, I'm not going to read the book to him. We're going to have story time. Dang it. That's just fine.
This was a beautiful surprise.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to love this book as much as I did.
But it is a Humanoids book. And I'll be honest, I like a lot of Humanoids books.
Mm-hmm.
So this fell right in there. So if you really get a chance, I would. This is my pick of the week. So I would pick this up, as it is very well done.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Lots of fighting.
And
her Stephanie Phillips' foreword in here is phenomenal, because she talks about how sometimes it's looked at as being a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Like if a guy is a boxer, then they have scars, how cool that is. But if a female does it, it's unattractive and you're a victim.
Yeah.
And so she goes through kind of stuff like that, which is the foreword is pretty. That's when I had to go do more research about Stephanie Phillips, because I read a foreword and I'm like, what? and
she responded to our threads stuff today.
So yeah, that was really cool. So, but I would highly suggest that book. So next, I only brought one of these, but we can talk about a bunch. Next is The Dawn of DC Night Terrors #1. So this is from this week. So last week we got a Night Terrors.
It was like a
almost
kickoff.
like a
number 0.
Yeah, it was like a number 0.
Yeah.
They call it #1. It's got a title. A few books came out. So your Night Terrors #1 last week, and your Batman is really kind of your main books. This week was your main book, along with like Zatanna was a main book. I think that's a part of this because it's really dealing with the Trinity. The rest of them not so much. So I don't like horror stuff as a rule. So I don't read a whole lot of horror stuff. But I decided to give this a try because I was curious with what they were trying to do with the Night Terrors. And there is a new villain called Insomnia that first appeared last week, and he's still through this. And so we're dealing with that guy, which he's new, but he's been around forever. So we don't know how all that plays out. But I've been surprised by the main books because we talked earlier, it is kind of a Dead Man book also. And I like Dead Man just because of he's kind of a jerk at times. And he's kind of really a jerk to Batman on purpose. So that's also
Batman's
kind of,
real mad.
Yeah, Batman also hates Dead Man, so it makes it better for me to do that. So I've enjoyed most of these books so far. Like a couple of them, I'm like, I read them and they didn't do anything. But the main books, like this one from this week, Zatanna from this week, the Robin's book this week is great because Jason Todd's in it and his biggest fear is a crowbar. So that's fabulous. I was overly ecstatic.
The premise of the Joker book, I haven't read the Joker book, but just the premise of it.
I read it.
Like, he kills Batman. And now what? Like, that's his biggest fear. Like, I guess I'll go get a job in an office.
Yeah, he got a desk job at Wayne Enterprises.
Like,
yeah, that's literally.
He's like, I won.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But I think the way that book ended, and that was last week's book, so I'm going to just kind of say it. It's kind of set up that his biggest fear is killing Batman, but then when he kills Batman, he didn't kill Batman.
Okay.
You kind of have to read the book to see the behind, because there's things in that book that's like when he's working at Wayne Enterprises that it's like, hey, Bruce just came through and he just did this and this and that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
I gotcha.
So all that is kind of separated. So it's kind of so it's interesting. The Zatanna book came out of this book the last week's book with Wonder Woman and Detective Chimp.
Right. So
that's part of that. So
and I'm usually a huge fan of anything Detective Chimp is in.
Yeah, but he's asleep. So
wow.
He's asleep most
he's
of the
a sleepy monkey.
But it is Zatanna and Robot Man from Doom Patrol. So I've enjoyed the Night Terror stuff way more than I thought I would. The Shazam book was really a Mary Marvel book, so that worked out really well, and that's also written by Mark Waid. So I think that's the main ones I read this week. I didn't like I don't read Green Lantern anyway, so I'm not going to read a Green Lantern book. It's not.
So I only read the kickoff book and the #1 that came out this week. I did not find them to be bad. They are just not for me. I'm not really that into Dead Man. I know Philip liked this. These.
That's because he usually goes into you.
That's true. I do feel dead. It's true.
Then he can control your meat puppet body.
The Meat Puppets. Love that band. So anyway, I think part of it is that I'm just kind of burnt out on horror comics in general.
There's a lot.
There are a ridiculous number.
But see, I stay away from.
And I read another book this week that I've forgotten the name of, but it started out. I thought it was a cool story about goth kids in the 80s and finding their way, and at the end of it, it was like, just kidding, here's some monsters, and I was like, oh, cool, monsters.
Yeah. So I don't deal with a whole lot of horror stuff because I just don't. Horror's not my genre. I just don't care about it at all. So I don't read it. But DC, I'm sitting there going, how much horror can it be? And I felt like that they've handled the dreams so far, the nightmares, sorry. The, the nightmares pretty well for the characters. Or the good writers, right? The good writers have handled the nightmares very well. I felt like Mark Waid did a very good job with Mary Marvel, just because of how they set that up. Dead Man, just irritating Batman, is also great. The Batman book last week was phenomenal. Basically, I was talking to someone here on Saturday, and I was like, Insomnia came and attacked Batman. And as soon as I said that, he was like how many times can you do the whole, oh, my parents are dead, so we're going to scare you with it? And I'm like, that's exactly what Batman said in the book. He basically told Insomnia, like, oh my God, how many times can you morons keep doing this? Like I got it. My parents dead. Like, so, but it gets really good. Bruce has to regurgitate something. Go.
It happens.
Go to Threads, read my one-line tweet, my one-line review. So, but it's, if you're enjoying the DC stuff and you like horror stuff, I think you'll kind of like these books. Like, it's not going to be a gory horror, but it's going to be more of a psychological thriller type on some of them. And so I think that's, but you're getting some characterizations too, right? Like, I'm going to use the Poison Ivy one from last week. So the Poison Ivy one, basically her biggest nightmare is that her and Harley are so different that she's not so sure that she can make Harley happy. Right? Because
that seems real.
That's very real. But that's how it starts, right?
Yeah,
so basically when Ivy gets pulled into this nightmare, she knows it's a nightmare. Like, she's still functioning in this nightmare.
Okay.
Where Harley is and all that. And Batman and Catwoman is their neighbors. Grilling out on the grill. So, but in that scenario, like I said, it's really dealing more with her and how she's functioning, like with that relationship. That's where it kind of goes. Okay. And that's pretty good. And, Jason Todd's scared of a crowbar, and I'll just keep saying it because it just, once again, I paid 75 cents or whatever it was.
I did not ask my parents' permission. I was grounded, and he's back anyway.
Right. That's got to be a class action lawsuit, right?
That's what I'm saying. I want 75 cents and a week of my life back.
So anyway, and I didn't bring a book here, but a book that I was really impressed with this week was Moon Knight 25. I don't have one with me because it's somewhere here. So it is a $9.99 book because it is it's
square bound. It's huge.
Yeah, it is a huge book. And usually when you get these books that are $9.99, square bound, 25th issue, blah, 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 which I don't know why I didn't get it now since our 25th episode. I failed. Man, did I fail. I failed this terribly. But usually when you get it, like, you get a regular 22-page story, and then you'll get like some, reprint from something that happened whatever long ago, and then you'll get another little story. Like, you'll get all this stuff that doesn't matter. No, this book was literally from beginning to end, all issue 25. Like, there's flashback stuff for Moon Knight, but it's a part of the story, right? Like, it is literally a part of this story. And spoiler alert, you get the first appearance of Layla is now in this book in a flashback. So that's handled really well. The only reprint in it is like the last 4 pages, and they reprinted the Moon Knight story from the Incredible Hulk magazine.
Wow.
So not even
I forgot that was a thing.
Right? And so when I looked at it, I'm like, wait, I'm like, I don't remember this story as like from Incredible. Like, oh my God, I forgot that was a thing. Yeah. I always forget it's a thing until I see it again.
Well, at least they reprinted something cool.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Like, it was a reprint of something cool that I'm not sure it's ever been reprinted.
I don't
Like, I don't think it's in any of the trades or omnibus. So it's a reprint of something that I'm almost positive it's never been reprinted.
That's cool.
Someone can prove me wrong, so which is completely fine. Just let me know. Please, someone prove me wrong. But yeah, it was a big square bound book that is actually Moon Knight 25. There's no filler, there's no jumping around. It is a full issue. So I'm like, all right, well, you got, because I was really expecting just a quick story, and then like it just kept going and going and going. I'm like, holy moly. So yeah, that was really cool. So that was a lot of books.
That was a lot of books. Well, it was 2 weeks worth of books.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks.
You weren't going to talk about books the whole time, so now you got to talk about other.
What? Well, we joined Threads. I've joined Threads. Richmond Comics has joined Threads.
So have I.
Yeah.
I've been replying to some of Philip's stuff today.
So I mean, I have joined Threads, so I'm out there, but Threads is going to be something that I will be going back to. People may not remember because this was pre-apocalypse.
It was a long time ago.
I think on Facebook, I used to do one-line reviews, and it got to be a little much because at the time we were getting all of our books on Tuesday at noon.
Yeah.
So then I would have to go home and read a whole bunch of books.
Yeah.
And so now with us getting books spread out over, like, we'll have DC books tomorrow or Thursday.
We've got our Marvel books already.
Do we?
Yeah, they're over there.
So anyway, so what I'm doing is as I'm reading the stuff, I'm going to be doing my one-line reviews on Threads. So if you go sign up on Threads and go follow Richmond Comics, I think we've made it up to 100 followers now. Woo-hoo! You'll start seeing me, and Jacqueline's posting some stuff, but it's usually going to be just Jacqueline or I posting stuff on Threads. I'll be mostly doing one-line reviews and stupid stuff.
I do like stupid stuff.
Yeah, and Jacqueline will probably be the more serious one, talking about real life things. I can't do that. So I may even use it to try to, insult people at times. Who knows? Why not?
I also follow Wendy's.
They're my favorite.
They're amazing.
I love the Wendy stuff, man. So, but yeah, we'll use that for other fun stuff and off the wall things and just random insert stuff here.
Yeah.
So, but tell all your friends. We would appreciate it. She's eating.
I was like, do you need help?
Yeah.
You look very sad.
She waited till we were probably getting ready to wrap up a show.
I forgot. You bought me a salad.
How did you forget I bought you a salad? You're the one that told me to buy the salad.
It was like 4 o'clock.
It was not. I didn't get here till 5:30.
Okay, it was at 5 o'clock.
It was 5:30. Man, she's gonna feel really bad when I show her the text.
Receipts.
I have receipts. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Got a receipt. So,
Whatever.
so then last week we got books over on the
I
racks.
think Tommy's sleeping.
There's still more to do.
So much more to do.
So Tommy forgot to carry the 2 in the equation
So I overestimated how quickly I could do things.
by himself, by the way.
Yeah.
By himself.
I still, and we were talking about this. There's literally no reason for me to still have this mindset. It has been
10 years.
10 years since I was here by myself, but still everything that I do, I'm like, well, clearly I'm the only one that's going to do it. So I have to do it by myself. So, and it's a stupid mindset. I don't know why I still have it.
So he backed himself into a corner.
I did. And like I had this idea. Oh yeah, no big deal. I got here at 7:30 Tuesday morning. I finished the Silver Age books the night before and had them on the rack before I left. No problem. And so like the first part of the day, the 120-ish boxes that I had priced, we separated them by first letter. And it was way faster than we expected. Like, it was great. Like, we went to lunch. We were feeling good about ourselves. And then things went off the rails and
went through a ditch. Airbags didn't deploy.
Man, I really thought one day, no problem. So anyway, I got here at 7:30. Philip got here not long after that. We left at midnight.
Yep.
And Phoebe was here till about like 11:30.
Nah, she left at 10:30.
I thought she was here later than that.
No.
Anyway, basically Phoebe left, and Philip was like, "We are not going to finish."
It may have. Yeah, I think it was.
It was somewhere between 11 and 11:30.
Yeah.
I left around 9. You think they're on till 12:30?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Well,
left
whatever.
we left here right around midnight, maybe a little after.
Whatever.
I can't remember. But
I came up with a plan.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, we need
Yeah,
to-
11:30. Phoebe was here
Okay,
till
11:30.
11:30.
All right.
And
Sorry.
when she
It was
left,
a long day, Phoebe. I apologize.
the minute the door was locked, Philip was like, "We're not finishing this." Well, actually, he was like, "How far are you into the S's?" And I was
That's
like,
right.
"Not very." I started working on the S's at like 9:30, and at 11:30, I was like, "I still haven't finished separating them."
Thank you. Thanks for forgiving me. I'm barely still functioning.
Yeah.
Because literally when I told Phoebe, I said, Phoebe, I promise we will not be staying here long. And as soon as you left, I'm like, Phoebe, I'm like, Tommy,
Yeah.
guess what?
And
This is a new plan.
At that point, so I basically when did we get back from lunch? Like 1:30? Got back from
it
lunch
was like
around-
1:32.
So from
Yeah.
1:30 to 9:30, I was on my feet pulling books off the racks and then giving boxes to Philip, and then he was taking them to the back. Like that was what we did for many, many hours.
Yeah.
While the
So-
women sorted.
So anyway, I'm still sore. Like I'm an old man. Everything hurts. So anyway, for the first like few letters, things were going great. I can tell you that at the S's to X to S to Z is a jumbled mess. We're working on it. So anyway,
Gregory.
hopefully in the next 3 weeks or so, we'll get everything alphabetized, and then
Everything's alphabetized.
Well,
Everything's sort of alphabetized. It's just not really in a numeric style order. Like, for the most part, like it's alphabetized A through Z.
yes. Everything's alphabetized by first letter,
Right.
and then at least through the B's, everything's good. After that, it's a little off the rails, but it'll be fine. We're
I think that. No, I didn't. Yeah, Justice League's a mess.
Yeah. So anyway, Gregory is working on alphabetizing things, and I'm working on pulling the old stuff off, so that once we get all this alphabetized, we'll have a bunch of empty space, and then I am gonna churn out as many back issues as I can, and we'll be putting more and more back issues out over the next few months.
So we'll get there. Like you can come dig through them. There's actually lots of cool, but the Silver Age stuff is done.
Yeah, the Silver Age stuff was finished Monday night before I left.
So-
I spent all day Monday organizing the Silver Age books.
So
I should have known then that the 50 boxes of Silver Age books that I organized
Yeah,
that took
shoulda.
all day.
You should have. But yeah, so if you're looking through Silver Age stuff, it's all there. There's a lot of it. There's lots of good stuff in the
There's
Silver
a
Age
bunch of
stuff.
cool stuff in there. Yeah.
Like there's lots of good stuff in the Silver Age. The other stuff we put out, there's lots of good stuff in it. There's people have been coming and digging through it. You just have to dig a little bit more right
So
now.
I did. There's a couple of regulars that came in yesterday, and they've been in a bunch since we did this. And I once again was like, I'm so sorry, everything's out of sequence and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, you know what? This is super fun. I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
Because it's treasure hunting. You're just
Right.
digging through boxes and you're like, what am I going to find?
Yeah, because you don't know, right? Because it's not
Yeah.
in numerical order or anything like that. So you really don't know what you find. But there's really good stuff in there if you just want to come dig.
Yep. So
Like
for the next few weeks, it's going to be a fun treasure hunting process. Once we get everything organized, I will feel much better about life. So
Yep.
anyway.
and then Jacqueline has put up her summer display.
Mhm.
So that went up this past week. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And then this weekend.
Starting this weekend.
So starting this weekend, we're kicking off a summer reading program because we got together, we talked with some people, and we wanted to, how best could we help encourage reading? And what we ended up coming up with is on the weekends from starting this Saturday, so Saturday and Sundays only, going through September 3rd, all of our manga and our trades and hardcovers over on the comic side is going to be 40% off. And so that's how we're going to do our reading summer program this year. It was the best way that we could come up with something. There's libraries are doing stuff and all that, but this is what we went with this year instead of doing other types of items. There's going to be other pieces to it. We're going to figure some other stuff out that may on like halfway point we'll do something with this reading program, but that's what we're going to set up this year because we're really wanting to promote it. There's a lot of Chesterfield County does a really good job of promoting summer reading, especially for adults, and that's what we wanted to focus on. This year was the adult side of summer reading, and so you know what. I get it. Not every adult like myself likes Bluey. It's fine. It's 100%. So, and so basically, so it's only going to be weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So come in and see us. Like I said, all on the comic side, all the manga, all the trades, all the hardcovers will be 40% off. To try to get you into reading, finding something you don't like or haven't liked before, you want to try something. So tell your friends.
This week, the second volume of My New Life as a Cat came out. Hopefully we'll read that tonight or in the morning. So if you want to try some silly manga, the first volume of that was really fun.
Yeah. So
that massage therapy. Also.
Yep. So this is the way that we're going to handle our reading program this year, just because we're figuring to get people in here to read. A lot of times it's like, well, I don't know if I like this. And we talk to people all the time who has either never been in a comic shop or they rarely go into bookstores, right?
Yeah.
And or visit libraries. And so this is kind of what, Chesterfield is really trying to been pushing the last 2 years, us talking to them. So we're going to tack on with them kind of, and that's what we're going to do. So tell your friends.
Tell your friends to tell their friends.
Right. So like if you're not sure that a graphic novel is something like I've never read a graphic, which we hear all the time.
Yeah.
I've never read a graphic novel. Well, you know what? Now is a chance that you can, and then there's not a whole lot missing. So, it's not like, hey, I've spent $20 on this thing. Now I've spent 12.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't really promoted that out on Facebook yet. This is kind of our introduction to it. So, or social media. So we'll be putting out social media later this week and promoting it like every week going forward in some fashion. And yeah, we really want to do some like stupid pizza thing, but we haven't figured that out yet.
I would love to do a stupid pizza thing.
Yeah. Just not many people do personal pan stuff that's near us, right?
Do a small Candelas pizza. It's a personal pan for adults.
True. That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Buy a book, you get entered to win a pizza.
Yeah, maybe we'll. Yeah, so we'll have the rest of that stuff. What we'll do on something like that. That way, yeah, everyone can enjoy maybe a pizza with their books by the end. Maybe we'll do two. Maybe we'll do a halfway and one at the end. So we'll talk about it. I'll have my people talk to your people.
I have an announcement to make.
Announce it.
We always talk about Scholastic doing.
Why don't you come over here and say this? Because they might not be able to hear you that far away with the air conditioner.
Anyway.
Come over here.
Nope, I'm over it.
What I know is Scholastic.
What were you going to say, dear, so we can regurgitate it? If they can't hear you and you're talking, we're not going to.
Tell you when you're older.
Okay. Not old enough. No.
Camera shy.
Camera shy.
Me too.
You just turn it around.
Turn this thing around.
Promo with Blaze. I like Blaze pizza.
I've never had Blaze pizza.
Huh.
Because I can't really have pizza.
Yeah, that's a shame. We should go to Blaze one day then.
Is it Johnny Blaze?
Johnny Blaze.
Donnie Blaze.
Donnie Blaze.
From She-Hulk?
Promo with Blaze.
It might be time to rewatch She-Hulk.
It's getting close to
God,
that.
it's so good.
All right. Well, we've come up on an hour because Tess isn't here. In case you wasn't here at the
we
beginning,
ran over.
Yeah, in case you wasn't here at the beginning, Tess decided that she abandoned us and she's tired of this crap.
So now we've gone over. I didn't even realize we've gone over.
So we're on our own. We've been left to our own devices. I think Tess is trying to figure out how she's going to destroy August since she hates August so much. That's what she's doing right
There's a
now. Tess called out sick.
there's a band that's August Burns Red. I don't know. Moose is a big fan. I can't remember. But maybe we'll listen to some of that.
Sure.
I don't know.
Oh, well. Anyway, so once again, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Tell everyone to come watch our show and subscribe to our channel. I think we're at 320 subscribers. We need 180 more.
Yes, August Burns Red.
Okay.
That is a band.
Right. We need to reach that mystical 500 subscribers. That's
Ooh.
our next level. So we only need 180 more.
We need to level up.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even care if we just need them to follow.
Yeah.
Just follow it so we can just sit here and still like have other things. Well, we need to do some other stuff too.
Yeah.
Like we keep talking about it. Like we have this live thing.
Yeah,
but
we keep talking about making other videos, and then it's like, that's a lot of
that's
work.
a lot of work. So maybe we'll just sit here one day and go live and just talk about people if they come in the store.
Y'all become grumpy old men.
Oh,
Become?
do you know our goal in life is to become Waldorf and Statler from Muppets, right?
Why don't you get some rocking chairs?
We need a balcony where we can sit and yell at people.
You know, I'm okay with getting the rocking chairs and sitting out front though for a while. That'd be pretty fun though.
Just not
All right.
until September.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're
So,
not.
like-
Yeah, neither one of us is gonna go sit out there in 90+ degree heat. Yeah, it's like
So
right.
like Cracker Barrel.
yeah, like the Cracker Barrel rocking chair.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
All right, Aaron.
You know, come on in. Get you some funny books. Yeah, I don't see why that's a problem
Mhm.
at all. I mean, I keep threatening to put Gregory out there with one of those flip signs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it could be a wacky waiver.
Yeah, it could be a wacky. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would also be fun.
Yeah.
Inflatable tube man.
We'll just go put a slide out front. Whee!
Many years ago, we had a Magic player come in, and somebody had wasabi peas, and they offered them to him, and he was like, "Oh sure," and he eats like a handful, and then like his eyes got huge, and he was like, and he like ran towards the door, and then turned around and ran towards the back, and then turned around and kept going back and forth because he was and doing this. And he was like, and later I was like, what were you doing? He was like, I needed water and I couldn't figure out the fastest way to get it.
Well, that wasn't it.
And I was like, well, you managed to accomplish nothing. And he was like,
So obviously we have to be careful. Have you walked down the shopping center?
not in a few days, I guess.
So not ours. So if I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but they redid our sidewalks this summer, right?
Mhm.
And there's actually no wheelchair accessibility that is so
Feasible.
Chesterfield County. If you're hearing that, that's good luck. So you have to go down to Kroger to get out front. Now, if you call us and let us in, we can let you in the back. That won't be a problem. But where this story is going, evidently they have decided. So what they did was a few weeks ago was they put a piece of plywood with a board under it and made a ramp, which I think the one in front of the dentist immediately got destroyed because someone ran over it with a car.
Yeah.
So when I went down there today, now someone is taking caution tape and run it down each side of the board. Ours in the dentist doesn't have it, but everyone else's has it.
Okay.
And then like in front of Penelope's, they put a sign that said caution. So I'm like, wow, that's
Allegedly, they're going to redo the whole parking lot. And then we won't need any ramps because the parking lot will be level with the sidewalk.
Well, they put up
allegedly.
the prison fence.
They did actually. They guy came in here the other day, and Tesla's car was over there. He's like, "Who? Do you guys know who owns this little green car?" And Tesla's like, "Yeah, it's fine." And he was like, "I'm sorry to bother you, but can you?" And he like explained what they wanted to do, and Tesla's like, "Oh, sure."
It would have been funny if they would have put the fence around Tesla's car
It would have been funny.
and then come in. So do y'all know whose car that is? Phoebe just told Tommy that he needs to shut up. Actually, Phoebe just told us that we need to shut up.
She said, "Not to be test, but FYI, it's 8:06."
What's for dinner, honey?
All right, everybody. Well, we got it. We got it, Phoebe. We got it. We're gone. We're gone. We're gone. So, we're out of here. All right. We will talk to y'all later. So y'all have a good night. We appreciate it. We will be back next Tuesday for live.
Yep.
So, and no test next week either.
No?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's doing that acting.
Yeah. She's all acting up.
Y'all can just keep doing this. Bye. See you later. And then talk for 10 more minutes.
Well,
All right, I'm gonna hit the end stream. I'm gonna push the button. Bye, everybody.
Bye.